Hello YouTube, this is Robert Ness816 and this is going to be another video addressing some of my thoughts about the LED backlights. So some people have been complaining about the newer G-Shocks with LED backlights. Not newer G-Shocks, but older models that have been getting updated modules where they're doing away with the electroluminescent backlights. So for me, it's not really an issue. For a lot of people, they're complaining that the LED backlight isn't as bright as the electroluminescent backlight, which is complete bullshit. They're also saying that it won't last as long or whatever, which is also a lie. So basically, the EL backlight has two drawbacks to it. One is that it does draw a lot of power, and the other is that it does affect the viewing angle of the display to some degree. The newer versions of the 5600 and 6900 in particular have improved modules that do have actually pretty good viewing angles in them. But the LED replacement modules actually improve on that just a bit more. So the newer modules in the 5600 is going to be 3525, and the new module in the 6900 is going to be 3529. So we also have an improvement in battery life, going from 2 years with the older modules to 5 years with the newer modules. And then I will also cover just my thoughts on them as well. So we'll put the packaging over and we'll go over that in a little bit. So we'll do the 6900 real quick because that is what I have. So I have here the solar version of it, which I'll just save for the last part of the video. And then we have the first two versions of the 6900. So we have the original, 1289 module, and then we have the 3236 module here. So basically the differences between them are going to be that the entire module is different on the inside. So where is it? Which one is? I think this one is the older one. Yeah, this is the 1289 module. So this one is going to be a poor example because this one's actually 3 different watches in one. I took 3 watches and made them into one good watch. So I bought this one off of eBay. It had basically just needed a battery, or so I thought, but the module in it, the original one, was not good. So the original module, basically, the flash alert stopped working, so I could basically not turn it on or off like I can do on this one. And also with the stopwatch, when I would use it, it would just kind of randomly reset whenever I was using it. So no amount of doing the all clear reset on that fixed those two issues. In fact, when I first put a battery into this module, the flash alert couldn't be turned off until I did the all clear reset, and then I couldn't turn it on. So definitely an indication of a failing watch module, or maybe it was defective from the start, who knows. But anyways, I replaced the module in it with one from a DW8400. So very similar looking watch to the 6900, except it's basically, or it was part of the Mudman range. So I took that one out and I put that module into this one, basically the same 1289 module, except the display was a bit different. So I kept the EL backlight from that watch because, as you can see, it has this cool blue color to it, as opposed to the green that these modules usually have, which looks like this one. So basically I now have a blue backlight, and also I have a I happen to have another 6900 that I bought cheap as well, which I swapped the display out of. So this is a display from a newer 3236 module, and I put it into 1289, and it basically is a direct swap. The reason why I did that is because the display from the 3236 is a little bit clearer, and also the colors on the top portholes here are also clearer. So that's really why I did it. So now I pretty much have a very nice looking and working original 6900. So this was an early Malaysian made module, and now it basically has a little bit of customization going on with it. So if we compare it to one that is original, this was one that I bought. This was one of the first G-Shocks I bought back in 2015. This one I bought off of Amazon as well. So basically I've had this one forever. It does have a new band and bezel on it from a couple of years ago. The battery on it's a couple of years old too. This one has a brand new battery, but pretty much they look identical, except for you can see on the plate over here that this is a smooth finish and the older ones have kind of a graininess to it. And then if you look at the displays, you can see how Casio has improved the backlight, because the graininess on the EL backlight is showing through on this one, whereas on the newer one it's a bit smoother. So keep in mind that both of these displays are from Thailand Y watches, and this display actually was as clear as this one was until I swapped it into this older module. So you can see how it is a little bit different. And the backlight, again, this is blue, this one's kind of a green. So that's basically it. So now we can look at the LED backlight here on the current one. This is one that I recently purchased, and we can compare it to the current or the outgoing 3236 module. So the LED backlight is basically a little bit brighter. And then the digits, as you can see, are a little bit bolder and blacker. So the LED backlight is an improvement both in clarity of the display and also in brightness of the backlight. So there's nothing wrong with the new LED backlight on these watches. There is in fact only improvements to be had. So that's really it. There is no other changes to these modules. They still go to the year 2099. Pretty much that's about it. I love this colorway. It looks awesome with the khaki strap and the khaki lettering there on the bezel. So, and you can see how it says LED backlight now. So your newer versions of the regular 6900 are going to say LED backlight on them as well. So they're pretty much going to be the same thing. They are not going to come with a metal buckle. This is again a replacement. This is the band from actually this watch, the DW or GW6900, which comes with this buckle. So also this is an excellent watch. It has a dimmer backlight compared to the regular 6900. So you can see not quite as bright, but that's because the cells in these solar watches are not as robust as a standard button cell. However, it makes up for that with the ability to charge. So that's why the EL backlights on these are not as bright. So I don't know if Casio is going to update the GW6900 with an LED backlight. I assume that they are. It would only make sense. So, and then if we compare the 5600, so I don't have the LED version of the 5600 yet, but we can look at the two EL backlight versions here. So this is the 1545 and 3229, and you can see that there is a pretty stark difference in how the backlights are and how the displays are rather. So Casio did make quite a bit of an improvement in the display clarity on the most recent 5600 with the EL backlight. So yeah, and then the LED version only improves on that further. So everyone complaining that the LED versions of these watches aren't as good as the older ones are just kind of grumpy people who just want to keep the EL backlight. So this is the 1545 and 3229, Thailand Y and Thailand HD. And then there was a Malaysian one too, which I've also had, and those are basically the same as these as far as clarity goes and stuff. They're just not as good. However, it's funny though, if you're in direct sunlight, this will give you an impression that it's like kind of better, whereas this one won't be as bold. However, in direct sunlight though, the newer version is basically amazing. Excellent clarity, excellent readability, and then in lower lighting, it's more or less the same thing. So again, the EL or the LED backlight is just an improvement. So we can compare it to the original 5600C, and you can see that it still wins hands down compared to all the newer modules here. And then the newer LED module is more or less the same thing as far as the clarity. So Casio, they kind of went back to how they used to be. It only took them like, 20 something years, but still. So that's just, my thoughts on it. The other thing is too, is when you look on Amazon, people are complaining that the adjustment button is too recessed. Let's make sure I have the right one. Yeah, the adjustment button is too recessed on the current Thailand HD models, which is, again, it's just kind of bullshit. So we look at this 1545 here from at least 2010, and you can see that it is literally the same thing. They're both not easy to use, and I don't know what Casio's intention was for that. I just think it's stupid, and then the LED version is more or less the same thing. So it's not a design defect. It's just, for me, it's just kind of a poor design choice on Casio's part. You can still push them, but it's not super easy, especially if you want to use the stopwatch and stuff like that. So Casio definitely could have improved the adjustment button with the LED module, and they also could have put the stopwatch and timer functions back over here like how they were on the 5600C. So I mean, it just makes so much sense though when you use it. There's dual time that should also be on the newer modules too. I don't know why they didn't add that. So anyway, we'll just start it. You can start it, you can stop it, and then you can reset it from here. It's so much better. I don't know why Casio wouldn't do that. I actually think this one does still have, was it the split, I think? Does it do split? No, this one does split. There we go. Yeah, so, it just, the little things make sense. So these are why the 5600C still holds its value. That and the fact that it has like a metal body, which people still, it is definitely better than the plastic body, because say if you catch the plastic body on something, you're going to rip the studs out of the case on these watches, especially if you're one of those people that puts a metal band on one of these plastic watches, which to me is stupid. You're basically creating a wake point, which is the case of the watch. So yeah, the push bars, or spring bars rather, become the new strong point instead of the case. So with these, again, if you catch this band on something, the rubber at least will flex. A metal strap will just break the case by ripping the spring bars out of the case of the watch. It is something that still happens with these rubber straps as well, but it's it's a weak point in the new G-Shocks, unfortunately. So it's, every watch has its weak points, and the G-Shock is, it's shock resistant. It's not going to be completely bulletproof, but, they did make a new weak point by going from a steel case to a plastic case. So that's just a downside of that. The 6900, however, to me is a much more robust watch because you have much more protection around the bezel here. The buttons are much easier to press, so even though you have, your start stop thing here. See, there's a split here. See that? That's awesome. That's another reason why this watch is great. Oh wait, how we got it going? There we go. Another reason why the 6900 is better, because the buttons on here, they make sense. They're just so much better. Look at that. You can do whatever you want with it. That's great. Why didn't Casio do that with the 5600? All they had to do was just disable the backlight in that mode instead of, being cheap with it. See, look, to me, this is dumb. You can still put it on. That's whatever. Great. But then now you've got this, and then if you want to use it, you got to put your finger in there for that to use the split. I'm making it look easy because I'm skinny and my fingernails are kind of a little bit overlapping, but this is, to me, it's something that I think Casio, oops, look at me failing. This is something that I think Casio should have basically stopped, because look at this. It's annoying. Clear, damn you, clear. There we go. So I don't use a stopwatch on this thing a lot, obviously. But anyway, yeah, that this, put it over here, please. You know, make these buttons functional again like they used to be on the original one. You know, guys, where's the original one? Somewhere over here. Too many watches. Anyway, yeah, make them functional again, please. Okay, Casio, it's not that hard. You had the opportunity to basically fix what you messed up on the 5600, and you messed it up. You messed it up. Look at this. The adjustment button is not fully recessed. I'm just going on a little rant here, but you know, when people complain in the comments on Amazon for all their reviews on these things, it does make sense because Casio has had 24 years to fix that. So actually more than that. Let's see, 1996. How long ago was that? That was, what, 28 years ago, I think? So 28 years to fix that. So basically, when the 1545 module was discontinued and a 3229 module came out, Casio could have fixed it, but they didn't. And then with the 3525 module came out, Casio could have fixed the buttons on it again, but they didn't. So I don't know what Casio's doing. So anyway, all the more reason to buy a 6900, because at least on these, they have the buttons in the correct orientation where you can use them, and it actually makes sense, right? Maybe you're still using the, you know, the buttons on your watch for shit. Who knows? I don't know. I just know that these two make so much sense, and it works, and it's intuitive. It's great. So yeah. Anyways, that's it. I'm rambling. So also, the last thing I wanted to talk about was the packaging. So the packaging that Casio is using now is they're, you know, they're going green like everyone else is. So good for them. Great for Casio. Here, we'll look at the back. Love the sea and the earth. I don't know if this is unique to the 6900 TU, which is this one. Granted, not all of your G-Shocks are going to come in this packaging, though, because your basic ones, like even these now I'm seeing are coming in the typical black G-Shock packaging, which is now being replaced with your blue and white Casio packaging and just a plastic holder. So Casio is further cheapening out on the packaging with their basic models. Like these will come in, you know, basic Casio packaging now. Even the LED versions of these two, which you will see, they will say LED light on them. On these newer ones, they'll say LED light there instead, just like this one, LED backlight. So the packaging. So these used to come with tins, and even the tins that we're used to seeing are not what Casio originally gave us. So like when the 5600C was new and all the modules or models that were out along with that watch, Casio gave you a nice, actually a nicer tin. They cheapened out on that tin probably in the later 90s or whatever. So now we get this box, which is completely recycled materials, recycled cardboard and plant-based printing oils. We do get this little package here, this little pouch, I should say here, which is actually nice. I like this a lot, actually. This I would say is an improvement. So they used to come wrapped in like a plastic bag, but this I really like. This is nice. You know, your typical tag on the watch. Not everything's going to be clear because I'm in my wide angle lens. This is what the watch comes wrapped in. So basically when your strap is, you know, your buckle is done on the watch, it looks like that. This is basically put in there like that. So that's what they're using. And then this foam or whatever this is, maybe some type of cardboard or something. It feels like it's like a thick paper. I really don't know what it is. Some type of thick recycled paper. I guess, you know, it does its job. It's there to protect the watch. It doesn't do a good job of displaying the watch. It definitely does not present as well as the tin did. And then this is where your instructions are. Oops, they kind of leaked out, but same instructions as you would get, the warranty card, all that other stuff. So nothing's really changed there. But yeah, that's it. So then good luck trying to put that back in. Can I do it? Okay. Yeah, look at that, I can do it. So yeah, I mean, the watch definitely doesn't have the same type of presence to it there when you're taking it out of the packaging. You're only doing it one time, but still, the one time is your first impression of a new package, or a new product, I should say. So it doesn't make it for as nice of a first impression when you get the product, unfortunately. But I guess people are going to throw the box away anyways, so I guess it doesn't matter. So that's just my opinion. So anyways, in closing, I do think that the LED modules are at least an improvement over the older ones. I think they are, because it's just, for me, it's better. This is, again, the most recent one. This is Thailand Y. Even though this one's from 2015, there is still a nice improvement in the overall screen clarity compared to the original version from 1996 and a little bit after that. So yeah, I'll leave it with that. So there is no point in complaining, guys. The LED backlight is brighter. It is more power efficient. 5-year battery life on the 6900, on a new 6900 and a new 5600. So there's really nothing to complain about. And again, if you're not using LED backlight all the time, getting 8 years out of a battery on one of these older modules too is very easy to obtain, not impossible. So these will probably last even longer than maybe 10 years, who the hell knows. But anyways, that's it, guys. So thanks for watching, and let me know what you think in the comments.